energized today. I had like banana bread for breakfast, so I'm on a sugar high. So, queer. What is it? Why do I use it? And why do I think more people should use it? I'm not saying that everyone should adopt this thing because I don't think everyone should be the same, but it'd be kind of nicer if more people knew about it. Now, being in the queer community, I am very aware of people within this community being homophobic and transphobic. And I think the use of the LGBT, like the letters, those 4 letters, in itself is kind of trans and homophobic because it's limiting ourselves into these 4 letters, and if you don't fall into these 4 letters, you're a plus. Basically, you're just a plus. And you're just kind of like an extra sexuality that no one really remembers, thinks about, cares about. You're just kind of in there somewhere. Like you're kind of along those lines. Now, people are so much more than those sexualities and those genders. And I think that we should adopt queer as a way of encompassing all of those together. So I have these 3 reasons why I use queer. Is that first reason I just mentioned is that the LGBT just limits us into these 4 categories, and again is doing that heterosexual normative kind of thing, but with homosexual normative, if that even is a thing. You know, my sexuality in itself is so much more than the term lesbian, but that is the term I use and that's the term I'm comfortable with. So my second reason is that queer encompasses, you know, other sexualities that people don't really know about. And when you're hanging out with cis het people and they don't really know much about sexualities, and they're not like, you know, in that kind of community around those kinds of people all the time, and say your sexuality is pansexual, demisexual, asexual, you're like gender fluid, or if, you know, you're non-binary, something that no one has really heard of before, people use the term queer to just kind of go, okay, well, I'm different in my gender and sexuality, but I can't be bothered like going into depth about it because I probably don't want to be ridiculed, I don't want to have weird looks, I just kind of want an air of mystery, I just don't want people to like invade my personal preferences and stuff and how I want to identify myself. And that's completely fine because sexuality is such a private thing, and it's a thing that really only matters is when you go to bed and have sex with someone. That's what sexuality is, and gender is such a personal expression of who you are that gender is it's so much more personal than sexuality. Like gender is something that is inside of you, and that's like your feelings and who you want everyone else to see you as and who you want to express yourself as. Now, I'm not saying that if your sexuality gender is one of those genders that don't get noticed by the general public and get forgotten about in general media and all that kind of stuff, I'm not saying that you should not tell anyone because it's confusing and use the term queer. I'm saying that if you ever feel uncomfortable about using it in a situation, you can always use queer because it's always your backup. But I'm saying, you know, push that out, man. Like, talk about it, discuss it with like everyone you know, because people need to be educated. Oh my god, education. Oh my god, I just want people to like just educate themselves about so many things. So my third and final reason is for people who are confused and questioning their gender and how. Sorry, there's a car. It looks like my friend's car that just kind of drove past. And they're you know, discovering it, and they're not quite sure what term to use or where they feel comfortable yet. So they use the term queer just to let people know, hey, I'm different. Like I'm not, you know, cisgendered or heterosexual. I'm just not quite sure where I fit in yet. Like, just like give me some time. Like, I just definitely know I'm queer, but let me just like figure it out. Like, okay. So the argument against using queer is that people say that queer in itself, that identity and that the label is in itself a whole sexuality or a whole different gender, or I'm not quite sure what it is. I kind of heard that they're like, oh no, queer is its own thing. They just say that, and I'm like, well, can you elaborate on that? Like, I don't really get that. If people in the comments can like let me know like a really good argument against using queer, I will very much think about it and reassess my life, because I actually really, really, really appreciate people's input of my opinions and what I think, and to tell me if I'm doing wrong, if I'm being really offensive or some way mean and derogatory, what's the word? Discriminatory. So please, if I'm being a fucking idiot right now, let me know. I really hope this video made sense, and I hope it kind of opens up new conversations with people and new topics and new ideas of sexuality and gender and how to express them and what to call it. I have been using this YouTube channel for over a year now, and I'm like still on 40 something subscribers, so people please share my videos, because like I need to be appreciated, and because I'm like an attention whore. Not even, I don't even yeah, okay.